For you folks who are in the regular master's program, welcome to you as well. You'll have Dr. Sumner and Dr. Church working with you with your classes as your clinical coach. Will be Dr. Pickard and Dr. Bullis. So again, welcome from the administration. We're glad to have all of you with us. Let me move to the remainder of the staff quickly. That will also be working with you. You will be receiving a visit shortly from one of our clinical coach ones. These folks just come out and work with you. I'll cover these definitions in just a moment. If you're in Rutherford County, you'll have me. I'll make a visit to see you in the next 2 or 3 weeks. If you're in the Triad area, Dr. Marie will come and see you. If you're in the Piedmont, Dr. Pickard will come and see you. If you're in northeastern North Carolina, Dr. Ramsey. If you're in western North Carolina or Greenville, Anderson area, Dr. Rivas will come and see you. If you're somewhere in the Sand Hills through Fayetteville, upstate South Carolina in that area, Bennettsville, Hartsville, Dr. Stedman will come see you. Dr. Stone will come see you. If you're in the Gastonia, Lowell area up through Lenore, Caldwell, also upstate South Carolina, Inman, that area. Dr. Talent will come see you if you're in Charlotte. If you're in South Carolina, I'll come see you if you're in Chesney or Spartanburg. Dr. Rivas will see you if you're in Anderson or Greenville. Dr. Robertson will see you if you're in Columbia area and surrounding area. Dr. Stedman will come to Dillon, Darlington, and Hartsville. Dr. Stone will be in the Bowling Springs, South Carolina, and Inman area. And Dr. Zions will see you if you're in the Charleston area or below. And Dr. Whitaker will see you if you are in the Wilmington area. So those are the areas that we cover. I think we have about 151 new students this fall. That's our normal. We take around 150. We have a staff of 30 that work with you. So there's about a 5-to-1 student to employee ratio, so that's pretty good. So we intend to give you premium service. We are available by email, Zoom, phone, anytime. Let me sleep from 12:30 to 4:30 in the morning. Other than that, call me, email me. We'll make sure that you have issues or problems, we'll get to you. You should be receiving an email within the next day or two to plan your first site visit. And so let's go to that. Your clinical coach one will come out and visit you. That was that list of people by area that I just talked to you about. When they come out and visit with you, they'll meet with your site mentor. I've already sent you the site mentor handbook. Let's look at that quickly. I've seen a book that looks like this. I've sent you a clinical internship handbook. It's the same handbook. It's just the cover's different. So when your clinical coach comes out and visits with you for the purpose of shake hands and thank the person that's going to be working with you, and to assure them that they're not going to have a lot to do other than to provide you the opportunities to get clinical experiences, and you are to document those experiences. You can do it on a simple spreadsheet, and their role is to simply sign off at the end of each semester on your 80 hours. And so here's a brief description of the program. Here's the log that you will keep. That's where they will sign the log. The competencies that you will have met by doing these activities. So here are the clinical activities that we expect for you to do at your school site. Everybody must be gainfully employed. You must either be at a school or at a central office site where you have access to school so that you can do these clinical experiences. We have them divided into 3 categories, such as leadership opportunities, supervision activities, and technical knowledge. Now, you notice that these are varying lengths. We expect that your hours will reflect the length or the number of these activities that we have. We would expect that the most of your clinical activities would be leadership activities. The least would be supervision activities. I figure after you've done bus duty a day or two, you probably got that down. So that I shouldn't see a clinical log with 60 hours of bus duty and 10 hours of technology and 10 hours of leadership. Should be the other way around. I shouldn't see but 10 hours of supervision. While bus duty is a valid part of the job, I think that's probably the quickest in terms of the learning curve. Don't forget your technical skills. You need to be learning these things as we go through. We'll also have you do some self-dispositions each semester, starting with this semester, to kind of monitor your own growth. So this is the Site Supervisor Handbook. It will be covered by your Clinical Coach 1. We have CC1s and CC2s. Clinical Coach 1 makes your visit. That's all they do. They can come back and visit again if you change schools, or if you change site supervisors, they'll visit you again. Otherwise, you'll work with your instructor and your Clinical Coach 2 that's assigned to your class. That's the person that you will work with most regularly on your classwork and your evidence artifact work. Everybody understands that there is no examination in the state of North Carolina for administrative licensure. It is a demonstration portfolio of evidence artifacts in task stream. We'll look at that in just a few minutes. Now, for you South Carolina folks, you will also do the portfolio. You will apply at the end of the program for a North Carolina license. You will then apply for a reciprocal license in South Carolina, take the administrative praxis exam, and be licensed in South Carolina. So far, all of our folks have been very successful with the praxis exam. We'll give you a study guide and work with you on that at the end. So that is what the first 5 to 15 minutes of that site visit will be with you and your site mentor. You must arrange that meeting. Your coach will get in touch with you, give you some times and date, and you will go to your administrator, your site supervisor, your site mentor, and you will adjudicate a time when the three of you can meet. It's imperative we have to meet with that site mentor to make sure that they agree to supervise your internship. After that first 5 to 15 minutes is over, your coach will then meet with you for the purpose of introducing the Blackboard internship shell. It has not shown up yet, and that's by design. You will have a second shell in Blackboard. It will be here where your My Courses are. Right now you have one that says 601, and you're in a section 2 through 12. One of those sections. You will also have a shell that shows up within the next week, so that you don't get confused and go to it. I've left you out of it. But your clinical coach that works with your class, as you can see, has a shell as well. And you will have access to that shell to work specifically with your clinical coach to help you with your evidence artifact work. As you can see, all of our folks have one. They're not listed for you under My Courses yet, because we need for you to understand your Blackboard class shell first. And then we'll open that shell up for you in a couple of days. Once we're sure that everybody has been in their class shell this week, toward the end of the week on Friday, I will drop you in that shell so that you can see it. So that's what your clinical, when your Clinical Coach 1 comes, that's the first thing that they will cover. They'll cover the task stream portfolio, task stream competency folio, evidence artifacts, School of Ed dispositions, competency analysis, and internship log. Hopefully you'll have your task stream account up and running by then, and they'll show you how to set up your competency folio, and they'll share with you examples of open-ended and evidence artifact-based competency artifacts that you can put in your competency folio. As you go through the evidence artifact process, it's much like national boards. You will be developing written evidence narratives based on tasks and prompts from the MELS handbook. If you have not seen that yet, it's in all of your shell. the MELS Scale Handbook, and it explains each of the 6 evidence artifacts that you will have during the course of your program. If you're in the add-on licensure program, you'll have the first 2 this semester, the APSEL, Analysis and Action Plan for Student Learning. You'll have the APTEL for Teacher Empowerment. If you are a regular master student, you will only have the APSEL this semester, since you're in a 5-semester program. The 3-semester folks are an add-on licensure. They have 2 evidences each semester. You just have 1. And so they'll cover these with you, and they'll talk to you about TaskStream. I'm going to give you a brief overview of TaskStream. It is a second database program, much like Blackboard, but it's only for finished work for evaluation. It's what is submitted for your state licensure. Let me close this. When you sign into TaskStream, you will have a direct response folio that's already set up for you. You won't have all these that I have. You'll only have one, and it will say Fall 18 or Fall 18 add-on. It will look just like this one that says Fall 17 add-on or Spring 17 or Spring 17 add-on, or Fall. This look more like these. Fall 17 will be Fall 18 add-on and Fall 18 regular. Those will already be set up for you when you go into TaskStream. We'll go in and take a look at those. This is where the work that you do in Blackboard with your instructor and with your coach, this is where it will reside when it is complete and ready for state evaluation. We have independent evaluators that come in and grade your work. We work with you through a peer review process, an instructor review process, a coach review process, to make sure that when that work goes to TaskStream, it should be good to go. And this is where that work resides for final grading. You'll also do a competency analysis. Basically, you'll just do a review. There's nothing to write. It's just a review. Your School of Ed dispositions, that's a self-assessment of where you are to start the program with your dispositional behaviors. And you can see what's due each semester. Your competency folio will be transferred back over to this portfolio for final evaluation. It's built elsewhere. And the reason why we do that is a lot of employers want to see a portfolio of your work now. They don't want to see all these evidence narratives. They want to see artifacts, things that you generated from the work that you've done as an intern. That's the way principals are evaluated now, by evidence and artifacts, things that they generate. And so we have made a separate portfolio for those artifacts where you can actually publish and share those with a prospective employer, so they can see pictures of you working with groups. They can see agendas. They can see the things that you have generated that prove that you have done the work of an intern. I mean, we can all just write up things, but what we want are proofs or artifacts, things generated. That's what prospective employers want to see. To that end, we have created a separate place, a portfolio, to add those things. And we'll teach you how to build that. It takes 2 minutes or less. We actually have a video that'll help you. We'll do it when we come out on site. And you will go in under each of the competencies, and you will add things like pictures of workshops that you attended or a workshop that you ran. This is a workshop that I helped develop, and so that would be an artifact of the work that I've done. And so those are the kinds of things that you will capture in your artifact portfolio, your competency artifact portfolio. In your regular DRF portfolio, you will capture the evidence narratives, the written work that you do. And so TaskStream, it sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. You don't use it that much. You're working in Blackboard to develop these things, and then you just drop them into TaskStream once they're completed. So the only difference between the regular and the add-on is, again, is the pacing. You do fewer evidence artifacts each semester in the add-on in the regular program. Again, in the regular program, you do one evidence artifact each semester, or 1.5. You do 2 in the add-on licensure program, but it's all the same work. It's just the pacing is all that's different. Let me log out of Blackboard, out of task stream, close that down, get back to my agenda. So that's what will happen during that hour visit. Please make sure that you set aside an hour. Now, make sure you tell your site mentor, your principal, they're not going to be obligated for an hour. The actual covering of the material takes about 5 minutes, and if they have questions, but at 15 minutes, the coach will cut that off and let them go back to work, and we'll spend the remainder of the hour with you covering the things that I've just covered. You will have a clinical coach too that works alongside you in your class as somebody who helps you with your classwork and with your evidence artifact work to make sure that you get through. They partner with your instructor in your entire class. So if you have Dr. Stedman this fall, I'll be your coach. I'll be working right along beside him. He comes on Tuesday night for class, and we come on Thursday night for the coaching session. So we're on 2 times a week. Now, when we come on for our individual sessions, you're not required to attend. You are required to watch them, because we'll record them, just like tonight, and we'll upload them to YouTube and send you the link. I think it's better to attend live, but that's kind of up to you. But your coach will be involved with will teach you how to do the peer review process with your peers. We have discussion boards set up in your Blackboard class shell where you review a peer's work and they review yours. You have to upload those for a grade. You also will do a couple of video peer reviews using Zoom, just like I am tonight this semester. We'll do a couple of video case studies where we're trying to teach you virtual collaboration, not just using it as a video phone, but how to use Zoom for virtual collaboration. Your coach will give you formative comments on your evidence artifact work in your intern shell. They'll give you comments or feedback on the artifacts, the proofs that you put in your portfolio. They will complete the other half of your dispositions and competency analysis. You do one half, they do the other half based on what the work that they've seen you do. They'll give you comments on your internship log of activities, make sure that your ratio of leadership opportunities to supervisory opportunities to technology opportunities is in the right proportion. And then they will evaluate that log at the end of your program. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. To recap, if you're in the regular 5-semester master's degree program, you have MELS 601 this semester, and you have coursework for your instructor to include the discussion board activities, assignment, and peer reviews. You'll complete the app cell. You'll do competency analysis and SOE dispositions this semester, and you'll upload 12 competency proofs or artifacts that include digital learning competencies. Now, digital learning competencies are not separate. They're embedded in your regulars. And so I put this in there to remind you, try to use as many digital things as you can in terms of artifacts, emails, pictures, videos. Everybody wants to see digital work now. And so that's why I've included that. If you're in the 3-semester add-on licensure program, again, you have 601 this semester. You do your coursework per your instructor and include discussion boards, assignment, peer reviews. You'll do the app cell and the app tell, 2 of the evidence artifacts. do your competency analysis and dispositions, and you'll do 21 competencies this semester because you've got to complete 3 rounds in 3 semesters. A round of competencies is 21. Now, you also have another shell in your My Courses. That's your 697 shell. That's your internship. We won't be working any in that shell. That just shows that you're an intern. That's for billing purposes only. That's why that MELS 697 shows up under My Courses. They billed you for 2 hours of clinicals this semester. And so that's why you have a 697. You'll have another shell that says clinical internship shell. When that one shows up, you will work some in that one with your coach. So 697 is not another course. It's just represents that you have a clinical component to your course this semester. As I've said, you'll have both a clinical coach 1 that just makes your visit and does the introduction, and your coach 2 will work with you in your class. And so here are the definitions of those. So that's pretty self-explanatory. All right. Let me close that one. Please know that in your Blackboard shell, you have a weekly schedule that shows all assignments, and then you have a tab by week that shows what's due that week. We've crosswalked those, and so when you go to your 601 shell, if you click on your weekly schedule, it's going to look like this. It's going to have everything by week and tell you everything that you need to do. Now, if that's too much for you, no problem. If you click on week 1 down here, it's just going to show the same thing for the first week. It's just going to show the first thing for the first week. And so this will be your guide as to what needs to be done every week, when the Zoom sessions are, what's happening with your courses every week. The scale handbook is here. You can read the whole thing. There's a tutorial on how to use Zoom. I should have read it. I guess I had no idea we'd cut off at 100 tonight. We've had many more in the past. Zoom teams, the teams that you'll be on for Zoom are here. Your 601 syllabus that has all this course information, grading policy, netiquette, all the attendance policy, all the policies of the university are in your syllabus. Again, your weekly class schedule. We've separated out what you do for task stream it's not different. These things are all the same. It's also in your weekly schedule, but we have it for you here as well if you just want to see what's due in task stream this week. Peer review materials are here. We'll work with you to understand these. Here is the process, explains the process, the template you'll use to peer review one another's work. Your Zoom teams are here. You go to discussion board is where you will post your work and find other folks' work. As you can see, this is where you'll post your work for peer review, and your instructor can see it as well. This is where you'll go get other folks' work and download it and peer review their work. We have drop boxes for completed reviews. This is where you get your grade. We have a separate link to this same box here. If you don't know how to find this one, it says AppSell Task for Review. It'll take us to the same place. So everything is kind of user-friendly here. We've got things for, here's the information for how to do your case studies. There's already here. Turn-it-in check is to make sure that you've got all of your references cited properly so there won't be a problem with plagiarism when you upload for state grading. We fix all those problems up front. Very rarely is it somebody's copied somebody else's work. Usually you just haven't cited a reference correctly under APA format. And that's when Turnitin catches us and helps us with that process. I've got the incomplete grade policy and the withdrawal policy here. Again, we've got it by week. If you're the kind of person that needs to see it separated out, no problem. Click on the link and it'll take you there. So this is your class shell. This is where you'll be working in this semester. This is where you'll upload your work for other folks to review it. This is where you will go to get their work and download it and review their work. The heart of the program is your evidence artifact work, because this is how you will be evaluated as an administrator, evidence artifacts. If we looked at the North Carolina Principals Evaluation Manual for assistant principals and principals, we would see, and South Carolina is much the same, we would see that you're evaluated on evidence artifacts. And that's why that's the heart of our program. We don't want you to be surprised when you go to work. We want to make sure that you know what to expect when you get there. So that is your class shell. Here's the syllabus. It has, this is Dr. Sumner's for her regular class. It has everything in it that you need. I think I've got mine posted. Again, here's the weekly schedule. Everything's on it in one place. Here's my add-on with all the material in it. I'd like for you to make sure that you look at course policies, academic integrity, and etiquette, because you're going to be working online a lot, technology requirements. So make sure that you understand the policies on all of those things. Again, here's a weekly schedule for the regular master's program. You can see in the red, once you get through with the AppSell, you're done. There is no AppTel on this one. So your pacing is a little bit different. We've already covered the Site Mentor Handbook, as I told you. The clinical handbook for you looks exactly the same. Now, I get a lot of questions about what am I supposed to put in that competency folio. I understand everything else except that competency folio. And so what I've done is I have two documents here. These are in your shell. This is where you can go to find things that would be considered artifacts to go into your competency folio. And you notice they mirror, it is the clinical things that you do. If you address a large, small group of adults, that would be dialogue, inquiry, or communication competency. What we'd like to see from that is either a video, a picture, or an agenda from that meeting. Something quick and easy. Digital, if all, a picture would be great. A short video. So we have here where you can go and find open-ended competencies, things that you did, artifacts that are generated by doing these things. If you attend a school improvement team meeting, if you have an agenda or minutes, there you go, or a picture with you in that meeting. That's the kinds of things that we want to see, and I've even got them separated out here for you so you'll know what competency that meets. So these are the things that go in your competency folio. Now, from doing your evidence artifacts, you will also generate artifacts from doing your evidence artifact work. When you actually write these things and do the work of your evidence artifacts. And so what I've got for you is even more detail from that. When you work on the AppSell, as you all will starting this week, here are the artifacts that you will generate. You will have an email, a PLC permission from your principal to form a PLC. That email, a screenshot of that email is a digital competency for 1, 3, 6, 12, and 20. You say, what does that mean? I have the competencies numbered. So that would be a communication competency, could be delegation competency, could be organizational ability. But a picture, a screenshot of that PLC permission, an agenda, minutes, pictures, validated test scores that you reviewed by your PLC, or pictures of video of your action plan presentation to your school leadership team or to your faculty. All of those are artifacts, things that you generated outside of the written narrative that you wrote up about the activities that you did. So we have these for each of the 6 evidence artifacts. We have the artifacts that would be generated by doing these things. So your competency folio should not be difficult because we tell you what to look for, where it is, what they are. And again, the reason why we do this separately is this makes a really nice portfolio when you're job hunting. And we want you to not only stay with us in this program and get through a rigorous, very rigorous program and be well prepared, but it'll all be for naught if you don't get a job. And one of the things that we've learned is folks like to see a digital portfolio when they're looking to hire a new person. So this is going to give you a leg up on the competition, we hope. Our graduates have been very successful in getting jobs and have done very well in those jobs, but it's not by accident. The little extra things like this is what will set you apart as a candidate. So I say that to say this: make sure they're good things, make sure they're quality things, as much digital as possible. You look modern. As many digital things as you can have in here. Not only is it good for the grade while you're in the program, but even more importantly, this is, again, we can publish and share this with potential employers, and they can see the quality of your work. Okay. Okay. I think I have covered the schedule again. Stedman, Lamb, Todd, Sumner Church. Those are the 8 classes this fall. If you don't have one of us, you're in the wrong place. And then there are the coaches right next to them. Dr. Stedman and I work together. We have, everybody's in a pair. Dr. Sumner, her regular person is Dr. Pickard. Dr. Church and Dr. Bullis work together every semester. We have these courses separated. We teach these courses every semester. Well, in the fall, at least for me. I'll rotate to 603 in the spring, hopefully, or I may stay with 601. But anyway, the point of the story is these are not first-time people. We have supposedly our best and brightest, while we have in all of our classes, but the folks that work specifically with 601 are the folks who have worked in this the longest and who have shown good results with their students, trying to make sure that they don't get behind and that they get through this program. So you've got the best that we have to offer, excluding me. You've got the best working with you this semester. Okay. And again, to recap, the CC1 visits are proximal. We assign people that live in those areas of our folks that are scattered across the state so that they won't have more than hopefully than an hour drive to come and see you. But please understand they do have to drive and come and see you. So make sure you're certain that your calendar is cleared and your administrator is clear when they schedule these visits. It becomes difficult if they have to come back or they get there and you're not ready for them. Because they are on the road out to visit. So we'll visit all 151 of you, hopefully within the next 3 weeks, counting this week. I'm sure you've already got some contacts. I've got a few, and I hadn't contacted mine. I'm getting behind. I should have contacted mine today. I'll get that done later this evening. But that's kind of an overview of the program. You'll learn a lot more when your coach comes out and visits you. You'll learn even more with your instructor and your coach too in your classes. Again, we're most pleased to have you. We are set up and prepared for these numbers. We have them every semester. We have a process that we put you through. We'll give you intensive support in your first semester. We'll pull that support back a little bit each semester with the idea that we eventually would like for you to become an emerging leader. That doesn't mean that we won't ever support you, but you won't have as many meetings after this first semester, and you will work more independently on your own and with your group. We only come online one time in 602 and 603. We don't do separate coaching sessions, so that after this semester, you'll only have one class a week. Again, classes are optional. You can choose to attend or you can choose to watch the video later. All right. I'm going to open it up for, oh gosh, I've got 69 things. That's people that couldn't get in. I'm going to open it up for the staff that's with me. If there's anything that I've missed, Dr. Stedman, I'm going to unmute you. Let me work with people.
Dr. Lamb, the only thing is I have gotten several, I've responded to every text message or email I got reminding them that you would be sending out a video later this evening from some that weren't able to get in. But I've been watching the messages. You might want to explain again that you and I are meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And right now it's for the first 3 weeks. It's not consistently throughout the semester, but based on whoever their instructor is and their clinical coach too, their time may be different than our time.
That's true.
You know, so I think they were confused, thinking that they were going to have to come on every week twice. And so if you would clarify that.
No, again, Dr. Stedman and I come on 2 times a week for the first month, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then as an example, and then we pull back a little bit after the first month, and we meet every other week on Thursday. We'll meet Tuesday every week, and then we'll pull back to every other week on Thursday. And then by the end of the semester, which kind of gets you ready for your next class, you'll only meet once a week. Again, the support is very intensive in the beginning, but being a one-year program with just 3 classes for add-on licensure, we have to move the process. We move that support quickly. You're not in our class, you may meet another night or 2 during the week. Make sure that you communicate with your instructor on when they meet.
And Dr. Lamb, if I may, if you are in Dr. Sumner's class, we're going to meet Tuesdays because we're not an add-on. I think we're going to be okay with once a week as long as that works for us. We'll be doing Tuesday 7.
Yes. If you're in the regular class, the regular 5-semester program, you only have to meet once a week because you only have to produce 1 evidence artifact a semester. The reason why we have to meet 2 times a week for the add-on licensure is we're accelerated. If you'll remember, you're only in the program for 3 semesters. So make sure you know when your class meets and if there's any optional sessions on top of that. The add-on licensure, we do a few more in the beginning because we have to hit the ground running. We go faster on evidence artifact work. But regular classes, you only meet once a week again. And by the time that everybody gets to their second course, whether it be 602 for the regular masters or whether it be 603 for the add-on licensure folks, when you get to your second course, it will only meet once a week ever. Again, the twice a week is just for the add-ons at the beginning.
Dr. Lamb, also, it was not mentioned earlier, those of you that are in Durham and those of you that are in Wake County, I think I have most of you as CC1s, and I have sent all of my CC1s communication today, so please check. And all of you need to do this. Check your Gardner Webb email daily. You need to check that email daily and make sure that you respond back to your CC1s, your CC2s, and your instructors immediately as we're trying to make these plans.
Mm-hmm. All right, I have one more thing before we go. I'm trying to catch these chats as I go. All right.
Dr. Lamb, I think it's really important for everyone to just sort of calm down and not be too worried. We're going to cover all of this again, and we're going to help you, so don't panic. I'm looking at the chats, and I think we've got some people that are really antsy. So it's good that you're motivated, and we're looking forward to helping you. So just hang in there, and we're going to do it.
Right. All this will be covered in depth in your class. I'm giving you the overview of the program and a welcome, and to make sure that you understand what you need, that you know what you don't know, and that you need to pay attention when this is covered in class. I'm kind of giving you the big picture here. But in terms of tasks for review, the box here is where you put things in that need to be reviewed. AppSell task and prompts. That's simply where you go to find out what you're supposed to do there. That gives you the directions, task and prompts or directions. And then the assignment drop box is where you put the completed work once your coaches approve it for final submission to be graded. And it gets graded here for your classwork. And then it will be moved to task stream for final evaluation by the state. And so task and prompts is where you find the work that you are to do. These things are not free form. They are exactly, they tell you exactly what the tasks are and what you're to do under each prompt. It's notes to tell you what you need to do. There's nothing left to chance. And let me kind of conclude with this. This program is very scripted. You can't kind of go off on your own and do what you want to do. You must follow those tasks and prompts completely. And when you turn in work for review or for grading, make sure that if each task, if it has one prompt, make sure that prompt is there. If it has two prompts, it won't have more than two. Make sure you have addressed them. Do not put your colleagues and your instructor through the extra work of having to review an individual task more than once.
Right.
And say that again. Tasks could have two prompts. Don't just do the first one and turn it in and get some feedback. Make sure you have done both prompts before you turn it in for review. Otherwise, folks have to read it twice, the same thing twice. We don't have time for that. That will get you behind. So make sure you understand these things are not free form. You don't just have to make them up out of the air. We tell you exactly what we want you to do in each one of them. And the reason why you have to follow that very closely is you're going to have an independent grader that's going to do the state grading on these, and they're going to follow the rubric.
Right.
What you have may be wonderful, but if you didn't follow the task and the prompts, you'll have trouble at grading time when they put your work on the rubric and grade it by the rubric. Now, all those tasks and prompts and grading rubrics are in the MELS scale handbook. We tell you exactly how it's going to be graded, what you have to have, and how it's going to be graded. So again, I would review that MELS scale handbook, or you can look at to make sure that you see what the tasks that you have to do in each of these evidence artifacts, what the prompts are, and then what the grading rubric is. And as long as you stay within, color within the lines, and you stay within the task and the prompts, then when the rubric grading comes, you'll be fine. We have very little trouble with our folks with their state grading, because everybody understands from the very beginning that task and prompts are not a suggestion, they're a requirement. That's how you're successful at state grading. We have very, very little kickback on that. Now, there is a mechanism if your work is submitted. Mostly when work gets sent back for revision, it's folks who have put it in too soon, didn't get it approved to be put in, or they uploaded the wrong document. That happens from time to time. But if you have gone through the process and your coach has told you it's ready for submission, very, very rarely will it not pass state grading. And even if it doesn't on the first time, you'll get it sent back, you get the chance, and your coach will help you revise it. Let me say that again. If, in the unlikelihood that your work is sent back for revision, your coach will help you revive it, revise it based on the evaluator's comments. So again, there's a process here of why you folks are going to be so successful. If you will submit to the process, you will do very well in this program, and it will be very rewarding program. If you have a hard time following tasks and prompts and a grading rubric, it's going to be a difficult program for you. But the state sets the grading standard. They develop the rubric. We just have to follow it.
Dr. Lamb, may I clarify something? I may have misspoken. I have a lot of the students in the Wake County area. I don't know that I have all of them. One student said she didn't get an email from me, and she was not on my list. So there may be more than one person working the Wake County area.
Okay. Let me, we'll look at that. Call me when we get off the air and we'll look at that one. Okay. Dr. Sanders, Dr. Stone, Dr. Robertson, Dr. Todd, Dr. Pickard. Anybody have anything that I have missed? Looks like everybody's with us tonight. Gosh, we've got a big crowd. Now the staff is here to support you. They've come online with you tonight. You can see many of them. There's Dr. Sumner. Dr. Rivas is with us tonight. Welcome. Yes, we've got a big crowd. Dr. Stone, we've got a big bunch of folks here with us. Dr. Tillman spoke earlier. All right. So you can see this group is dedicated to helping you. They're all here tonight. We do this all the time. We're dedicated to this. This is our job. We've all been, some of us less successful than others, but we've all been, everybody involved has been a public school principal in the state of North or South Carolina. Most of us were in the central office. Some have been superintendents. This is not just a random group of people. These folks are dedicated to making this a quality experience and making you successful. And I hope that you'll stay with us in this journey. All right. Anything else for the good of the group before we go tonight?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. Digital learning competencies, they're embedded in the regular competencies. When we get you to the competency folio, you'll see where those are. So don't worry about those. Those are embedded in your regular competencies. They are not separate. All right, I'm going to sign us off tonight, and I'll send out the video in an hour or so. So hope everybody has a good week. Make sure that you know when class meets this week, and be sure to join me. Thank you.
Amen.